Tanzania is on fire, both figuratively and politically. The streets are alive with chants, resistance, and anger. Gen Z youths are taking to the streets, accusing their government of turning into a dictatorship. Their frustration loaded into open defiance. Could this be the beginning of a new political awakening in Tanzania, or a slide into deeper state control? President Samia Suluhu Hassan's leadership, once seen as a fresh chapter of unity after the Magufuli era, is now facing its most serious legitimacy test. The accusation that she has taken the law into her own hands has...
Breaking news coming from Tanzania. So the president of Tanzania, who is a woman who is known as Suluhu, has turned into a dictator. She has refused to reform the electoral board, and she has arrested the chief opposition leader. And she has said that the opposition leader wanted to plan a coup in Tanzania, which is false. This woman president, who took power after the death of the first president, who was John Pombe Magufuli, a very good president who was loved by all, has refused to take part in fair elections. And when international lawyers tried to get into Tanzania, I'm telling you, all of them were arrested and then they were deported back to their countries. The whole East Africa is on fire, and it is demanding for her to step down immediately or reform the electoral board or step down. He's now claiming that nobody should interfere with Tanzania, while she wants to unalive the chief opposition leader, who is known as Tindu Lissu. And now, if there was election in Tanzania, there could not be a competitor. So she wants to cling in power because now power has entered into her mind. I don't know what is wrong with African leaders.
Fast forward to this week, when John Heche, one of Lissu's close allies, was sent to represent him at Raila Odinga's burial in Bondo, Kenya. The government's decision to block Heche from traveling has shocked many and stirred an emotional storm. Critics are asking, what kind of threat does a funeral visit pose to national security? Is the Tanzanian government now so paranoid that even symbolic gestures of solidarity are being treated as rebellion? The situation at the Sirari-Isebania border is chaotic. Reports indicate that Gen Z protesters and boda riders from both Kenya and Tanzania have converged there in solidarity. Young people are chanting against oppression, demanding Heche's release, and calling out what they describe as growing authoritarianism. For the first time in years, Tanzanian and Kenyan youths have united across borders, driven by shared frustration and digital activism. Is this cross-border youth alliance the beginning of a new regional consciousness against leadership impunity? The border tension is not just about John Heche. It reflects a deeper crisis of governance and generational defiance. The youth are demanding accountability, transparency, and political freedom. They are using social media to mobilize, document, and expose state actions in real time. Their courage raises a powerful question for every African government. What happens when the digital generation loses faith in political institutions? As the protests grow, fears of state crackdown are mounting. The government's silence only fuels suspicion. The world is watching to see how far President Samia is willing to go to maintain control. Will she open dialogue and de-escalate the situation, or double down and risk turning Tanzania into another symbol of suppressed democracy? These developments also raise deeper regional implications. Kenya's involvement, through the burial event and the protests at the shared border, adds a complex diplomatic layer. How will Nairobi respond if Tanzanian security forces confront Kenyan protesters? Could this border tension spiral into a diplomatic standoff between two key East African nations? At the heart of it all is a generation that feels betrayed and unheard. Tanzanian Gen Zs, like many across Africa, are no longer willing to be silent. They are questioning systems built on fear, demanding justice for their leaders, and insisting that freedom of expression must not be criminalized. Could this be the moment when Tanzania's young population reshapes its political destiny? Or will the establishment crush this resistance before it grows stronger? The world must pay attention. Tanzania's story today is not just about a blocked politician. It's about the broader fight for democratic space in Africa.